The latest trailer for The Rise of Skywalker just dropped, and we're going to talk about that, plus our Return of the Jedi rewatch on Certain Point of View. Hey, Nerf Herders, I'm Addy Thomas.
And I am Ben Milton.
Welcome to Certain Point of View. We're going to be talking a bunch of Star Wars today. But don't forget, we are part of the Certain Point of View family, and you can check out a bunch of other podcasts there.
Bitch, please, we are the Certain Point of View family.
Yeah, we are Certain Point of View. But you know what? What's not on this podcast feed, are the crazy freaking Ewok adventures that we had on Scruffy Nerf Herders.
God damn, that was fun.
That was insane. And I'm hearing actually some of our other friends over at Real Movie News and Reviews are going to have their own Scruffy Nerf Herders adventure too.
Good.
So I'm excited for Hans and Steven to have their own Scruffy adventures. So
I suspect it's not going to be quite as many, like, I don't know.
Borderline racism.
I wouldn't even say some of that stuff was borderline.
Just the audacity isn't quite the right word, but
just the sheer
insanity,
joy.
Yeah.
Some people call it insanity. I consider it just a good time.
I think there's a very thin line between the two anyway. But while you're trying to figure out that line, you can find those episodes on our website, certainpov.com. All right, so let's talk. Anything happening in your
first of all, yeah, because I want to tell
any updates on your bowels or anything like that lately?
They're fine.
They've been
They're
good.
Fine.
All right,
they're fine. But I do want to say, so I had to work overnight at the job I have, and so I worked from basically midnight to the morning, and then I got the kids off to school, and then I've been home all day. And I got maybe 3 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours, which I mentioned. We go, hey, you want to record? And I go, yeah, I've had like 3 hours of sleep in like the last 48 hours, to which you instantly reply, sounds great, let's record.
Well, you didn't set that up properly, because you were like, we were both like, should we record? Should we not? We just watched the Star Wars trailer last week. We did our rewatch of Return of the Jedi. We've already released our episode of the month, so this is a bonus episode as far as you're concerned.
As far as we're concerned, too.
But, I mean, we've also had 2 episodes of Resistance that aired recently, too. So, you know, we've had quite a bit of stuff
to talk about.
And there's been directors trashing Marvel movies and franchise movies lately as well. So that's been a thing. So that's been fun. You know? Yeah, I know, right? So, and then there's been more fake news in the Star Wars world.
That never happens.
Right? I don't even know
Mike Zero.
Oh, my God. It's insane. But, so, actually, you know what? Let's start with the fake news and get that shit out of the way.
Right.
So, apparently, the fun headline that's been going the past few days, and, like, there is nothing more than just malice that is out of this. Like, this is pure dark side crap, because they basically the headlines are saying that 75% of Rise of Skywalker is being reshot right now.
Right now.
That Disney is not happy with the cut of Rise of Skywalker. And that is like, there's a fundamental misunderstanding of how filmmaking works.
the time that it would take.
Because on that timeline, we're just getting animatics December 19th.
If that.
Like, we're gonna cut to like shots like animatics, and then cut to like shots with time code that have, and the lighting that like color corrected footage hasn't been done yet, and
the mic booms are dropping down into the screen.
You can see a guy in a mocap suit, you know. That's the really despecialized edition.
Yes, the unspecial edition. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I can't believe people are running with it,
right?
And talking about it like it's a thing. Like that would actually be a thing.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I don't
say like, okay, a scene, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe you could get a scene done.
Right,
maybe.
But like, so
75% of the damn movie,
right? Like, I guess 25% of the movie would be done.
Disney's not messing around this time.
Yeah,
yeah, they're breaking the laws of physics. And time.
I mean, the really funny thing was, like, obviously I saw these headlines and I refused to click on any of those videos, because obviously I watch plenty of Star Wars type videos on YouTube all the time. I get suggested this along with the ones that I actually want, and I wasn't like I just kind of had my YouTube in the background because I was listening to like interviews and stuff like that. So it automatically jumped to one of these stupid videos.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh God, what the hell? And I pause it, but for whatever reason I decided, hey, let me scroll down and see how are people reacting to this. Like, because obviously this is so ridiculous. And the good thing is I only spent about 20 seconds, but I just a brief scroll and I saw nothing but like people just buying into it. And I just don't understand, how can there be people that are that stupid? Like, I'll give you the, like, oh my God, Disney doesn't like something, whatever. Like, I don't agree that that's a thing because they've made plenty of money. The evidence is there that they've made plenty of money. But let's just say that they're interfering and they're
interfering with what? It's their thing.
Well, like they're getting overly involved. Like that's been the ultimate fear since Disney bought Star Wars from Lucas, is that they're gonna, suck the spirit out of it, corporatize it,
turn it into a cash grab.
Right, the cash grab that it never was before.
Never been.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking about the series that gave you a card to hold on to buy if you wanted to get the action figures for the very first movie.
Yes.
I guess cash grab was never involved.
No,
but
it's never been associated with this thing. Unbelievable.
But
I don't get it. Like, you're right. How can they be so stupid? To me, it's not a matter of stupidity. It's a matter of tribalism.
Yeah.
Like it's still we talked about, I think, last episode.
They just want to be loyal to their side, so they're just running with the narrative even though they know it's wrong.
Even though they know it's bullshit. You see it in politics all the time.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you see Hillary's doing it now with Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
And trying to invent. We do it all the damn time. People are just animals. We are a mistake away from being hairy monkeys.
The regression.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
this is our version of throwing shit at each other.
It really is, and we seem to really enjoy it a lot as a group of people, and it's infuriating. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I don't even bother to watch stuff anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still a lot of really good content out there that I get to see. It's just accidentally it automatically started paying into the next one. I'm usually able to avoid them pretty effectively. It's funny. There's one channel. It's not one of the. I guess it may be big. I don't know. But there's one where the name of the channel is Thor Skywalker, and that just makes me roll my eyes. Like it just feels like the worst.
An anti-Disney guy.
Yeah. Right. It just feels like that is the epitome of like the type of fan
douchebag.
Yeah, that just doesn't understand. Like, there's one thing for like, all right. You don't like The Last Jedi, fine, whatever. You're allowed to not like it. Not everything resonates with everybody. But then there's also just that extra level of stupid.
Right. We're like, that movie was a total failure.
Yeah.
I think the $1 billion it made says otherwise.
Right.
I don't think anybody there was
the kind of fan
unhappy.
who can never understand subtext. Like, subtext is just so far out of reach. But
and everything is offensive.
Yeah. So.
See that because I made the mistake of reading some of comments about the new Watchmen series.
Yeah,
and people are like,
"Oh, they're going nuts."
Should be called woke men.
Yeah,
what the hell, man? Just take a break. Take a break from it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a certain narrative, I guess that's fine. Like, I mean, if you want certain media, if you want something that fits whatever worldview you've got the option to do it, but. Like, everyone's free to make whatever they want to reflect whatever worldview.
Yeah, and you're free to watch whatever you want.
Yeah, and not watch it. So,
I'm
a South Park fan, and I know plenty of people who would hate South Park.
They're wrong.
Yeah, right?
But they're allowed to not like it.
Exactly. China.
1 billion people can be wrong.
Well, it's the Chinese government. Let's be clear on that, too. So, anyway. Let's move on from those people. Resistance. We've had
fun.
We've had some really good episodes. We're on episode 3 so far. We've talked about episode 1, but we had a good string of episodes.
Yeah, we had a lot of flying around and shooting and practicing.
Well, we got to see the sort of the wreckage of the oh wow, I don't remember the name of the super Star Destroyer type thing in at the beginning of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, what is that thing? I forget what that is.
I know it was a pretty impressive name.
Dreadnought.
Yes, the Dreadnought. Like, you're there in the wreckage of the Dreadnought, Dakar, where the Resistance base was before they abandoned it at the very end. The Colossus arrives there. We have some work with Tam on the First Order as they're trying to convert her. And she has joined. But as they're using her to try to catch the Resistance and the Colossus, it's been really good stuff. And even like, I'm enjoying the stuff with Kaz and the Aces. I'm so happy that the Aces are a bigger part of the story right now. That was what season 1 was missing. Yeah. And we got training exercises. We got the whole like teamwork aspect, them working together.
We got to see some of the more ancillary characters.
We got the old Imperial guy actually talk.
Yeah, and tell a little story, which was great. But again, he was the first guy down.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
He was just a shit pilot.
Well, you can see the way that they train TIE fighter pilots is, you
either survive or that's it, survival of the fittest.
Yeah, Frodo almost didn't make it out of the First Order.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, Elijah Wood as the other Imperial pilot. So yeah, it's. I'm really interested to see this story go on. Yeah, I'm glad that it's only 2 seasons because I think this story is.
We'll wrap up neatly in 2 seasons.
Exactly, but it feels like this is a good holdover for until we get to the next series. Yeah. And who knows what that series will be. But I do get a feeling that Sabine and Ahsoka and Ezra and Thrawn potentially could be involved in that series. That's just my theory.
I have nothing to base that on. Nothing. Like
nothing at all.
Except for a dream.
Yes.
That's the only thing.
But I'm not letting that dream go, man.
Just throwing it out into the cosmos.
But you know what? They're totally going to... But even if they do that, though, it'll be a new cast of characters. And, like, I bet Sabine or Ezra or Thrawn or Ahsoka will only show up at the very last episode the way they had Ahsoka show up at the very last episode of Rebels Season 1.
So you don't think that we're going to go back and have them as main characters?
I don't think so.
Supporting characters.
Yeah, I think they'll be supporting characters, which I think the main. Yeah, I know we're now turning this into a Rebels talk a little bit, but the key story arc for Ezra was done. Unless they have a story arc for Sabine as the main character, I don't think they'll do that, which I think is entirely possible because they really started putting together some really cool stuff for Sabine towards the end of Rebels that could still be something they develop as a character who's trying to find her place in the galaxy. But I think Ezra's arc was so good for those 4 seasons of Rebels that sure, they could do more with this character, but I don't think they're going to do anything with him up front and center as the main character.
Yeah. How cool would it be? How cool would it be if we get an Ezra sighting at the end of the Rise of Skywalker?
I am
with Rey.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Because we see the ghost.
We do.
See the ghost.
Should we? You know what? We'll save the trailer for last. Save the trailer for last. Right. Let's talk Return of the Jedi real quick.
Okay.
So we did our rewatch of Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Obviously, recently we also played Ewoks in the Scruffy Nerf Herders episodes. So it's been a little bit Return of the Jedi themed lately. What did you pick up in this watching?
I mean, I got really high while we were watching it.
Of course.
And and it was a fun movie. Like I guess I had forgotten the detail of Luke choking the Gamorrean guards.
Yeah.
Using the Force choke.
Just how aggressive he is. Like, they do really play with him potentially falling to the dark side a whole lot more in that movie than you think. It's not as much as it could have been or almost should have been.
Yeah. It's not. It's subtle.
Yeah.
It's too subtle for that movie.
Yeah.
We needed a little exposition on that, or somebody saying something about it, or something like that, because it just didn't. I never really felt like he was gonna turn.
Yeah.
I never felt like
because he's always a good. Well, because you only ever really see him killing bad guys.
Yes.
Yes. But if you kind of interpret it that his decision to throw away the saber is him deciding to go the pacifist way,
right,
versus all the violence that's there before. Maybe that's the interpretation. I think that's something I've heard from Lucas or someone else talking about the movie, that's
right.
essentially what it is.
Right.
I don't know if I totally agree with that, because then, like...
Because I don't agree with the guy who made the movie.
I think it was someone else.
Those guys,
right?
Addy.
I know, right? No, I think it was someone else's analysis that I read. I don't think it was Lucas, but I think the idea, though, that like not fighting, like there's clearly like the Rebel Alliance clearly has to fight against the Empire. Like you can't say that they had to be pacifists, you know. So
what would Gandhi do, Addy?
I know, that's true. Well, Gandhi also got lucky that World War II was going on at the same time, too. So
timing's everything.
Yeah.
They had a lot. England had a lot going on.
Right?
Like, fuck India.
Well, I mean, they just couldn't financially handle it anymore. Yeah. I'm sure they would have continued to colonize the rest of the world if they could afford
Hitler hadn't have gotten in the way.
Right? Anyway, this is. I mean, I guess we are talking about imperialism, aren't we?
Sure. We're talking about the empire. I mean, like,
yeah, it doesn't get any more imperial than the British.
Yeah. I mean, they even have British accents.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, but I do think I think though, like you're right. It's kind of. It's not even just in the subtext. It's just so buried so deep in the movie that it doesn't really get the chance for you to feel it. And that movie also has such a weird structure. It's like 2 movies jammed together.
Yeah.
In a way, it's really more like 4 movies jammed together, but because of what Lucas had wanted to do at one point, according to Marshall Lucas and Gary Kurtz and some other people, and even Mark Hamill. But yeah, of course, all of that ends up jammed in. But it's what's interesting is that despite that, it still ends up being pretty damn satisfying.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it does. Like you can really break that movie apart into its own equal, separate parts. But it does still feel like a whole thing when you finish it.
Yeah,
where you feel like, oh yeah, like I actually did see something here and it all makes sense, and everybody did kind of what. Yeah, they should do.
Except for the Leia Luke thing. That's the only thing that doesn't work.
Yeah. But I mean, it's basically a revision in your trilogy. Like, what they're making right then and there, like on the fly of like, no, we're going to backtrack that up a little bit.
Exactly.
Backpedal that a little bit. I mean, that whole scene with Leia and Han, that whole scene where Luke, when they're on Endor, and Leia's like, hey, what's wrong? That whole scene has
soap opera vibes.
Yeah, it's just really badly written.
Yeah, it's super melodrama. Well, I mean, but that's also like that was the best indication of what was to come with the prequels and the Anakin Padme relationship. Just how tough it was for Lucas to write those kind of scenes. And that he needed, like, it just shows you just how fortunate that they had the combined team of Lucas, Kasdan, Kirshner, and Kurtz, and, you know, all the other people who were a part of the original trilogy to make Empire work for those scenes. Because even though, like, I'm not pretending that the Han and Leia romance is one of the greatest romances in movie history or anything, it's still cheesy as all get out, but it's still functional as opposed to Anakin and Padme, you know? So, yeah. I will say my greatest joy in this watching was watching you engage with the Ewoks on an almost spiritual level.
Wow. I think you might be overplaying that.
Oh, dude, we're not watching you because you were so enraptured with the Ewoks in this watching.
Is such a strong word. I was enjoying them.
You were talking about like you had picked out a favorite Ewok, and you know what's funny. And I knew it was coming.
All, this isn't funny. You sick fuck.
It's funny because I knew it was coming, but I was like, "Oh, this is meant This is going to be tragic.
Listen to you laugh. What is wrong with you,
because
man?
you've never expressed love for Ewoks. You've always refused to express love for Ewoks. I get that you don't get that. You don't buy it that them beating the Empire is believable. I get it.
Right.
You know. But you picked out, like, you saw, there was, like, you talked about, oh, man, that one with black and white fur, he's so beautiful.
Dude, that weed was so strong. It was so strong.
Yeah, but it revealed your true self.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
you revealed your true self, because that was the Ewok that gets killed, and the other one goes back and tries shaking him awake, and
it was a really nice coat.
Yeah.
It was just a really nice coat. And that's what I said. I was like, oh, that is a really nice coat. I was like picking out a dog.
I know, but that's the closest you've ever engaged to an Ewok, though. Even equating an Ewok to a dog is a big development for you.
Yes, Ewoks are like dogs. I guess. I guess the weed mellows me out, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I feel like that's a personal victory for me.
I think you're trying to blow it up into a little bit more than it really was.
This is how
you see
my reality is perceived, and
fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to take that from you because you have so much joy about this,
about the Ewoks.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah. They're silly.
Yeah,
and they are cute.
Yeah,
in their own weird way.
Of course,
as long as you're not looking at their eyes.
Well, most of their eyes, yeah.
They're just frightening monsters. And I mean, that whole sequence with them is just silly fun. Like, it's just real kids fun. It's hard not to enjoy it.
Yeah, you've never giggled. You've always made fun of the Ewoks, though. Whenever we've watched Return of the Jedi.
How many times have you and I watched Return of the Jedi?
A couple times.
Yeah. Too many times.
But you've always commented, it's like, oh my God, not this.
Yeah.
Whereas you were giggling when they were pulled along the rope.
I mean, it's so silly.
I was really shocked. I was checking, like, is he just doing this facetiously? Is he messing with me?
That weed was so strong, man. Yeah. I mean, it's silly. It's funny. It's ridiculous.
It is.
I think the problem is, like, it's hard to have, take this shit seriously.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, no, this is a real thing. Like, let's really debate this. And then watch that sequence with the Ewoks. And take it seriously. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing, like the guy falling over the railing into the bunker.
I love that. I love that every single time.
Every time.
I mean, since I originally saw that scene, because he gets
scream as he falls. It's just so funny. There's so much ridiculousness.
It is, but it's also cool and fun.
Stealing the ATST.
I do enjoy that one.
And, like, sticking his head in upside down.
Right.
While the Ewoks are driving it. Like, just so stupid. It's so dumb.
Oh, it's fun.
But it's hilarious. It is fun. It absolutely is fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I want my Star Wars to be now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want to have those all day lengthy, like, let's be really serious about this Star Wars conversation.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to go back to just enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think I was able to achieve that with a really strong dose of medical marijuana.
Right.
To be able to sit through Last Jedi and enjoy it.
I will also say, though, Yoda was also a blast this time. Because he has the time to make a joke about his age.
Yeah, right.
But not tell about lightning.
Force lightning.
Tell him that Leia is his sister.
Right. He just leaves a trail. Like, oh, hey, there might be something. There might be another one. Or another Skywalker.
He barely gets out that there is another, but he's got time to talk to him before.
900 years old, look this good, you will. Yeah, he's kind of an asshole, and I like him.
Yeah, for anybody complaining about plot holes in other Star Wars movies, I think you may need to look back at Return of the Jedi.
Any of them, man. Just these first three are full of plot holes.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously silly.
Yeah.
The acting is horrible.
Yeah.
And they're so much fun. They're just ridiculous fun.
I think I will say though, and I love the second Death Star fight. It's it's so much fun. Like the lightsaber fight, the space battle is has always been my favorite. But I will say that even more, and it's cool, it's powerful. It's one of, again, like that, I like, it means so much. Like there's so many, that's actually one of the better shot scenes in Star Wars. Like the way they have like the lighting on Luke when he's hiding, which doesn't really make sense with the space that he's in, that he's able to hide and Vader's even hunting for him. But let's ignore that for a moment.
Throne room with like a sub-basement.
Right?
Makes no sense at all.
But I love how they play out that scene, and even like Lando like going through their little Death Star run as well.
Trench run.
Yeah, version of the Trench Run. Yeah, Trench Run 2.0. I've always liked that one a lot. But the scene that I think really, really is going to always last with me is Ghost Obi-Wan sitting on a log.
I mean, you get tired not having a body. Just got to sit down and rest.
Because it isn't even like Luke is already sitting on the log.
No.
Luke is standing up, and he decides to sit down, and then Luke decides to sit down with him. It's not like he's sitting down to be eye to eye with him or anything. Right.
Yeah, he's not like, oh, I'm going to break this down for you. Let me sit down.
Right.
So, no, he's just like, I'm old. I'm tired. I'm going to sit my ass down on this log. You guys do not pay me enough to stand through this scene. You can tell by the time he filmed that, he was so over Star Wars.
Oh, for sure.
And that character, he was like, this is the dumbest shit I have ever done. I'm just gonna, I'll take the check.
Right.
Because even it's like, you can tell, like, he's not even really trying to act well. Like,
yeah.
He's like, all right.
What are my lines? I don't know what they mean, but
here we go. You got a sister, I guess.
Yeah.
Feels like something we probably should have mentioned. But here we are.
All right, so that wraps us up for Return of the Jedi. Now, the big thing, obviously, just a little while ago, the final trailer for episode 9 dropped during the middle of the Patriots Jets game. And, man, that was a long first half of a game to get to that.
I know. It was awful. Like, we were trying to watch Monday Night Raw, and it was so bad. Even I was bored, and I was just like, why is this match still going on? We switched over to the NFL game, and the Patriots are just raffle stomping the Jets. And their announce team is dreadful.
Yeah.
It was just a shit night of television, except for this trailer.
Yeah, which we watched, 4 or 5 times?
So far, we'll probably watch it a couple more.
This is the most we've really analyzed a trailer
together.
Because usually we talk about it a lot more in the week after we both have kind of analyzed it a little bit more, or read other blogs that analyze it,
and then stole those ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. One cool thing though that was posted online, because there was the trailer for the trailer earlier today, and one of the clips is the one that showed the Rebel or the Resistance fleet assembling, and the Falcon drops into frame. And really cool tidbit is off on the right, you see the Ghost.
Woo!
The ship from Star Wars Rebels. So I wonder who's piloting that. Is Hera still alive and kicking, or do we have clicking? Or is Jason Syndulla the one piloting that ship?
Ezra and Sabine,
right?
They?
It could be anybody at this point. So
where's Chopper?
Right? I don't think we're going to find out in this movie. I think we might get the kind of Rogue One type moments where maybe someone's mentioned on an intercom in the background or something. I don't think we'll see a character.
Much more than what we already have.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Ahsoka, on screen. Well, definitely not Ahsoka, because she'd be involved with Rey at this point.
It'll be interesting. I mean, that's one of the theories that I have, kind of one of the wish theories that I have, is at the end, you see Rey assembling with Ezra and Ahsoka and
the new Skywalkers.
Yes,
that I do like that idea a lot.
I think that would be really cool.
That would be. It would be awesome. But I think also people would be like, what the hell was that?
Who the hell are these people?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, as much as I think it'd be cool, I have my doubts.
It wouldn't matter. I mean, even if it was just like, oh, and like these are her new Padawans, or like this.
Oh, right. And you can explain it later in other movies.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It would just be like a shot.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the movie of a shot of like her surrounded by those people, and then like for the fanboys who knew.
Yeah, you got some
like, oh my god.
Yeah, and a lot more questions after it too.
Right.
So it's not like they really reveal a lot from that. But I will say this trailer was really cool. It was nice hearing a trailer with like a little bit more hopeful music in it too.
Yeah.
Like it was like we have the original, like we have the actual Star Wars theme in this one, which is funny, is not been a thing for a while. Because I don't remember any of the main Star Wars trailers for the sequel trilogy, for Solo or Rogue One using the main Star Wars theme, or for that matter, any of the prequels either. They tend the go-to theme is often the Force theme in a lot of those trailers,
right?
Just because the Force has become a bigger and bigger deal with all these movies. So that was really cool and fascinating. I'm excited by it. We got to see. It looks like Rey is training on a jungle planet.
Yeah, that looks cool. It's nice to see a jungle planet for more than what we see it in this trailer. I assume they're going to be there,
right? I know,
for a slightly longer period of time.
The only time we've seen a jungle planet, actually, we did. I guess you could. I didn't think of Yavin as a jungle planet. I was actually going to
like a forest planet,
right? I was going to say Felucia. We see when Ayla Secura is killed during Order 66. We see the jungle there, and it's the same jungle planet that Solo goes to at the very end of Solo. You see that same planet there. But that's the only time we've seen a jungle planet on the big screen. So,
well, we're seeing one now.
Right?
Looks fun.
We know we're getting another desert planet. But
Can
we're
I
also
just say something?
Sure.
To go back to our earlier conversation.
Yeah.
First time we watched that trailer and it pops up and you see like they're on a forest, like jungly forest, and I thought. And it's a clearing, so you're expecting something to walk into the clearing.
Yeah.
My biggest fear was that it was going to be a fucking Ewok. No joke. I'm not making that up. I'm not saying that just for comedic effect. I was literally like, shh, so help me God, if this is a fucking Ewok.
I had a feeling I knew it was already going to be Rey training based on previous trailers and also based on a rumor of what the opening of the movie is going to be, which I'm not going to say or talk about because I don't want to spread that, only because I'd rather it be a complete surprise for you and for other people.
Okay.
But I have a feeling it is going to be the opening of the movie. Like this one leak is one that I might give a little bit of credibility to.
Okay.
But we'll let that go. So yeah, the Rey training on the jungle planet. It also looks like we've seen shots of Leia on that same planet. So is Leia training Rey?
I don't know how she could, because she's clearly she wasn't a Jedi. Like, how was she going to train her? She didn't really use the Force until she pulled herself back in the ship.
It's the only time we know of it. So I do know in some of the books that Luke did train her a little bit. So it could be one of those things where
Luke trained Rey a little bit.
Right? And just a little bit, a little piece here, a little piece here. But I mean, that could also be like Rey is also very clearly frustrated during her training sequences. And she, like, even in this trailer, she kind of says, everybody thinks they know who I am. And it seems like that's a point of frustration for her, which is, I think, a very interesting thing to go with. Because, again, obviously there's a thing about who are her parents, but this felt like it was played more about, like, who is she supposed to be rather than what her heritage is, which is the direction I want that question to go into.
I went with it as I listened to it the first time. I was thinking that it was indicating, like,
the expectations on her.
No, the tempt to the dark side.
Yeah, exactly. That's that kind of thing too. Yeah, exactly. Like,
where it was like,
who am I going to ultimately be?
Who is she going to be? Is she going to, is she the hero of this story, or is she the villain?
Right. Right. Because you also have Kylo Ren kind of emerged to say, I'm the only one who does know who you are. So, which is very, very interesting because it almost feels, based on some moments in this trailer especially, that there might be a little bit of a pull between Kylo and Finn for Rey. And not necessarily in a romantic way, but just for who she is supposed to be. Yeah. And that doesn't mean Kylo couldn't still be redeemed in the course of that, because he's also conflicted. And it almost is like he's trying to put on this image. He's really trying hard to be someone who is embracing the dark side. Yeah, and embracing this idea of who he thinks Vader was as well.
Who he should be.
Right.
Yeah. It's the interesting line in this trailer is Palpatine saying, I've waited so long for you to come together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting because based on Last Jedi, Rey has been produced by the Force to rise up and meet the power of Kylo.
Right.
Where does Palpatine fit in that? Because that offsets the balance.
Yeah. Well, maybe we're thinking of maybe it's more of a circle balance rather than just a one versus the other type of thing. And yeah, that's all I got.
All right. We'll fix that in post.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're leaving it in. I leave all my flaws out on the table here. No, but I think the idea of
just let it go, Addy.
No, but I think the idea of balance is still going to be a big deal.
No,
and,
for sure.
Maybe it's. I think Palpatine is still looking to throw off that balance in the favor of the dark side. I don't think he's ever sought balance.
No.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. But what will the Force creates the balance?
Yeah.
It's the Force that wants balance, right?
Right.
Like the Force raised up Rey to match the darkness of Kylo.
Right.
Light. Right? So if Palpatine is rising as an evil.
Maybe Palpatine has figured out some way. Maybe he's understood the Force.
Maybe he's a gray Jedi.
Oh, that's interesting. Don't tell that to Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
I love that. That rant is awesome.
Was amazing.
And I totally agree with him, even though I do like the idea of the gray Jedi, but I totally agree with him.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. But I will say, I do think that, look, so just, again, looking at Extended Universe and sort of the type of story this seems to be, since it seems to be like there's some sort of hunt for an artifact or they're trying to search for something. We even see Rey and Kylo in the old throne room of the Death Star and fighting on the ruins of the Death Star. And
then there's a scene of them smashing the Vader's mask stand.
Right. Yeah. We see stuff like that of them working together, and along with also seeing the scenes of them fighting each other. I wonder if so we know that Palpatine has been very interested in collecting artifacts. There's lots of he has collections of Sith and Jedi artifacts. Based on comics and books and even Rebels. We know about his attempt to get into the world between the worlds, where there is sort of a version of time travel or messing with the timeline that is possible through there. So maybe he is trying to achieve an independence from the Force through them, so that he's not chained to the cycle or the power of the Force to be able to rise, good and
right.
The light and the dark. I don't want to necessarily say good and evil.
Or the darkness of Palpatine is so great that the Force leads Kylo to Rey.
Right.
And that's his redemption.
Yeah, no,
the two of them together.
Exactly. But I think the goal of Palpatine is to throw off that balance. We both agree that it's to throw off that balance, but maybe
I don't think he cares about the balance.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the Sith care about the balance or as much as the Jedi care much about the Force is the arbiter of the balance.
Right.
That's the Force's concern, is keeping that balance.
Yeah.
Sith are always going to want to dominate. Jedi are always going to want to dominate.
Right, but do you think that by like it feels like the idea of balance of the Force is something that threatens Palpatine and his goals.
It threatens the Jedi as well.
Right. But let's say, absolutely. But it's already wiped them out. Whereas with Palpatine,
it's wiped the Sith out too.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But let's say
because
Palpatine
it had to have balance.
But let's just say Palpatine has found some way to achieve basically some way of breaking out of the cycle of reincarnation.
I get it. I know where you're going with that. I think that's a probably pretty deep and complicated thing.
Yeah. But it also seems like the kind of thing J.J. Abrams would do.
In a TV show, in a movie.
He hasn't had enough time to build to it.
Yeah. We haven't really talked, Palpatine's a surprise. We haven't seen that guy in forever.
That's true.
Most we got him was on TV shows. His presence in movies is pretty minimal.
That's true. Yeah. God, they really... I love Force Awakens. It's such a fun movie, but man... If they had just gotten rid of Starkiller Base and maybe moved it a little bit closer to this direction, I think that would have helped.
It definitely. Well, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? We haven't seen this movie yet, so what are we saying?
Maybe.
Yeah, but
I think it's going to be awesome.
The thing that I'm excited about, though, imagery-wise, and because I was rewatching some of the trailers earlier today, so we've got the big fight that's going to happen on the Death Star ruins in the ocean type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's a super over-the-top fight. It's not quite as dialed down as Luke versus Vader in Empire and in the throne room on the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, right? But it's almost like my first instinct when I saw that for that first trailer was like, oh, holy crap, that's a cool shot. But also, oh my God, this is a little over the top and reminds me a little bit of the lava of the fight on Mustafar with Anakin and Obi-Wan that was so over the top. But you know what? Very quickly after realizing that, I was like, oh, that's a cool kind of way to bookend it. If you have sort of this idea of that's the epitome of when that's Anakin's fall, and you have this idea of fire tearing them apart, but often water is a metaphor for healing. So if this is sort of a metaphor for the Force healing itself, and that whole
finding common ground.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a cool
on the ruins of this violence.
Right, of the legacy that's been left for them. That's the kind of vibe I'm kind of getting from that. So I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it may not even be that, but maybe that's just
I was kind of feeling that too when I was watching it, where I was like, I bet this is it starts as a fight, but they find common ground to they're both looking for the same thing or something like that, so they have to work
just happen to cross paths and fight. Yeah. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
That sounds likely.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. So.
Spoilers.
Yep. Well, whatever. You should have watched the trailer by now. Why'd you even click on this episode if you hadn't seen the trailer?
Why do you listen?
You must just like us that much, which is honestly.
Thank you.
Patreon, Thank you. But also find new friends too.
No, we love you. Stick with us. Stick with our weird selves.
Yeah, actually, you know what we would enjoy is if you join us on Discord. You need to get back on Discord a little bit more.
I do. I finally finished up the one major project that was only took 30 days and took 45 days.
Yeah, because we both have been quiet on Discord.
Yeah.
But we'd still love to talk to you guys there. And because it's been fun. I've had a couple conversations. It's nice when you have a conversation with someone in real life about this podcast. It's almost a little weird because I was talking to a friend about it the other day, and it's almost like, oh my God, you know me a little bit better than that I feel would be okay, just because I've never it'll be sometimes with someone I've never had a conversation with before in my life.
Yeah.
But because we're willing to talk about our bowel movements on this podcast, it's gotten increasingly personal.
And the person's like, oh, hey, how's your digestive tract?
Right?
I don't know who you are. I mean, it's all right, but a little backed up today. I've been eating a lot of cheese.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, if you end up talking to me about Star Wars, you've gotten pretty close to my heart. So,
not me.
Oh, whatever. So, stop pretending to be stronger than you are. The gruff exterior is just an act.
It is.
You're ultimately my Han Solo type.
Does that make you Chewbacca?
I mean, I'm the nicer one of us.
Are you?
Oh, of course. Don't try to put this whole thing where you say, like, oh, you know how Jenny's the crazier one of us, too?
Jenny is the crazier one.
Yes, that is true. That is true. But I'm not the meaner one of the two of us.
No, I'm definitely meaner. Until I get a lot of weed, then apparently I become a teddy bear.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just got to get me in the right frame of mind. Man.
Right. The you that you're uncomfortable to face. The you that I put the mirror up to when we were bowling and you were so uncomfortable.
This is the me. This is what I see when I walk, when I'm on Dagobah and have my spirit walk into the dark forest.
Is this a general nice, just a very nice guy, genial,
happy, calm, relaxed.
All right. Well,
because I was talking to Briella Dania today, and we were talking about D&D alignments and trying to figure out what alignments we were. So, Wizards of the Coast has an alignment test that you can take.
Yeah.
And I took mine, and I was true neutral. Because, and it said, and here's exactly what it said. It was like, because you see both lawful and chaotic and good and evil as extremes, and you try to avoid those and stay in the center.
God, you're balanced?
Yeah.
I would have put you at chaotic neutral.
Oh, I was going to say I would have been neutral good. What? Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I do a lot of things for good.
You've done a lot of good things in your life, absolutely. But who you are,
I'm not though. I'm not as chaotic as you might think I am. I'm more neutral because I will also do very lawful things. Like I have like a lot of structure, and I sometimes respect people. sometimes a very neutral thing to say. I'm not into law all the time.
I've also seen you go and start fights too, just for the fun of it, just because you could,
because I could for sure.
Like you knew, like, oh, there's a hornet's nest. Let me just lob this grenade.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
but I also will restrain myself.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. Absolutely, I can admit to that.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah. I was like, I thought I would be more neutral good. Like, because I try to like make the world a better place.
You do. And you've done some very big things too, though.
But whatever. And I'm not like, look how great I am. But but I was just like,
but you are a really, really nice person.
Don't start with me, you're an asshole. You're such a dick. I hate when you do that. So I thought maybe I would get the good role, and apparently not. True neutral.
Yeah.
But I felt better because Dania was also true neutral.
Okay.
And then Brielle was neutral good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But they seem much nicer than you.
Brielle's definitely nicer than me.
Yeah.
Dania is not. She's a monster.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She's our kind of monster.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Her sarcasm and just loathing of the human race in general.
Okay, all right.
It's comforting to me.
Yeah. And you still thought you were going to be good? After that statement?
Do stuff like that, despite how I feel about
it. But it feels
people.
like it's to create some internal balance.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, as I look at it now, sure. Because
your parenting style is very unique. Effective, wonderful, full of love, but still in between good and evil.
Well, I don't want them to go to any kind of extreme. Like, I want them to be balanced. I don't want them to be the corrupt Jedi that we see in the prequels. Nor do I want them to be the chaotic evil force that Kylo Ren is.
Right? I think this is the first time we put all the personal stuff on the back end of the episode.
I hope you stayed this time.
Right?
They're like, oh, there's no shit talk in the beginning. Let's just turn it off.
You missed out the real gold. The our commentary on Ben's parenting and his...
Wait, what's so unique about my parenting? Why do you think my parenting is so unique?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, one, you guys also have very special situations with your kids, but you guys are more blunt with your kids than the average person, which is refreshing because you guys are honest. But a lot of people are more coddling with their kids.
Can we talk about what happened tonight? We were sitting down here just talking.
Yeah.
And Aiden snuck down and just had like this little monster dinosaur that makes this noise, and it's like standing over my shoulder. I don't know what, 4 or 5 feet away.
Yeah.
And he lets it rip. I didn't know he was there. Yeah. And this dinosaur's like,
scared the hell out of you.
Scared me so bad.
You jumped.
I did.
Yeah.
Scared me so bad. So bad.
Yeah, but no, you guys are different than most parents. You guys don't think so?
We're definitely different than most parents.
Yeah. But not just from the situation and the cards you guys were dealt, but like
but how we handle it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a refreshing honesty, like that is so much nicer than a lot of the other people that I see. Like there are a lot of people that I feel like, oh, I wish you took some time to take a few classes before you became a parent.
And that really is what it is. It's because our kids are special needs and their background in foster care. Like we've been forced to go to therapy. Yeah. With them for so long.
Yeah, but here's the other thing though. I think there are certain people who become parents in a different way, and they kind of lose who they were before.
Yeah.
And yes, everyone has to mature, obviously, to be a parent. Yeah, exactly. My point. I don't feel you and Jenny have changed that much.
We're more tired.
Well, yes, absolutely. But I mean, like in terms of the essence of who you guys are,
right.
Like I still feel like
become like that guy. Was it the Geico commercial? Where the guy, like, suddenly all the guys start becoming like their dads.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you guys are not that.
Yeah,
yeah,
no. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. We're still fun.
Yeah, you guys are still. You're the cool parents. You're the only ones who still play good music for your kids.
Really? People don't do that?
I don't hear anybody play the kind of music that you guys do for your for their kids.
What do they play?
Oh my God, like awful music.
What, like
I mean,
like kids music?
Yeah.
Or just like praise and worship?
Both.
Oh, you shouldn't subject your kids to praise and worship.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is just shit.
Yeah, but like especially like everything ends up going more like the kids route.
Yeah.
And everything, but like you guys still play like a lot of you guys just play like good music.
Well, we play our music.
Yeah.
Like music we want to hear.
Right.
Well, here's how I think about it. Since we're talking about parenting.
Yeah.
I'm the adult.
I can't believe I enabled this. This was a huge mistake.
Now let me tell you how to raise kids. You want to learn how to raise kids, stand around and listen. We're going to change the whole theme of this podcast. Parenting tips from a certain point of view. That would be the best show ever. The music thing is simply like I don't like listening to their music, and I'm the adult.
Yeah.
So they're going to listen to my music.
Right.
It's really a self-centered thing. It's not like I'm like, oh, I want to make sure you understand like cool classic rock.
Again, that's why chaotic neutral, I think, still makes sense.
I'm just like, screw you. This is for me. I can't listen to your bullshit kids bop anymore. We're going to play something good.
Because the thing is, I have heard you listen to Kids Bop even before you had kids, but true. It was only because you liked it.
I do like Kids Bop. I do. It's funny. There's a couple songs, like I have a playlist that I play every morning for the kids. It's a Kids Bop playlist. Yeah. Like I have a Google Chrome and I just, hello, and you start the day. It goes through this whole routine and then starts playing the Kids Bop playlist. But I get so excited when they add new songs to it. I'm like, oh, I don't know this song.
Here's the thing, though. Do you like Kids Bop out of a true love for that music, or the chaos within you that knows that people hate that music, and you know it's low quality music?
Hate it. It's not low quality music. All it is
it's a bad cover.
Some of those covers are better than the originals.
Okay.
The what's that new country song that everybody was talking about this year or last year?
Wagon Wheel?
No, something like Mile Road or something.
The rap one with Billy Ray Cyrus and I forgot the
they do a cover. Yeah, they do a cover of that on Kids Bop. Yeah. It's better than the original.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't really care too much for the original, but maybe
also there's
maybe I should listen
Havana,
to the Kids Bop.
I forget who the original artist was. It's better. It's better than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really good. The Kids Bop show tours. I just found
of course the Kids Bob Show tours. I know that they do.
Lawn tickets at Merriweather were $80.
Jeez.
They crush.
Do they have an encore?
I would imagine. $80, they better. $80, I better be able to take one of those kids home with me. It's insane.
So now on Ben's kidnapping aspirations, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Tune in next week when we cover child abuse and human trafficking.
Well, don't forget, like I said, you can hang out and talk with us on Discord, and you can check out all the other podcasts that are part of the Certain Point of View family, certainpov.com. And until next time, stay scruffy, my nerf herders.